Bulletcast for life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Bulletcast, the only sports and recreational podcast that is simply just too sweet. I'm your host, Philip Antoine, and I'm the African-American nightmare and the leader of the selfish generation. I'm joined in studio by my co-host, the enforcer, Mr. No Days Off, Brandon. What is going on?
Hello, just us two today. It's the A-team.
The A-team, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, are we like Booker T and Stevie Ray?
We're like the newly inducted Rock and Roll Express, who had
I
like the
guess.
best speech of the night, even though it was like the worst speech of the night.
We need a Jim Cornette.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our usual outside of the ring, Drew Galloway, Drew McIntyre, whatever you want to call him, he signs with NXT.
I wish he was with WWE. I think he'd be a good person to be on SmackDown.
On the main roster, yeah,
Yeah,
but NXT they need some talent.
he'd be a good lead babyface.
I know go up against Bobby Roode.
I think Cassius Ohno could be that, but not right now.
Yeah, aren't they still worried about his weight though?
I don't. I mean, he does need to lose a couple pounds.
Got kind of chunky.
Especially when he wears those medium shirts,
Yeah.
makes him kind of look even worse.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Jim Ross signs a 2-year deal with the WWE. I'm glad to see this. The voice of wrestling is back.
Mm-hmm. Back with the big promotion up in New York.
Yep. He still has a deal with Access TV, so
And the World of Sport and
yeah,
all
so
of them.
still gonna be good to see him there. All right. WrestleMania results. Neville defeated Aries on the kickoff show to retain his cruiserweight championship. This was by far the most technical match of the night.
I feel like it was a pretty good match. They got the time they wanted, and I understand the finish with Neville kind of raking the eye of Austin Aries, getting more heat on him, especially being this the kickoff show, first show out of a 7-hour card. I don't think it was the right time to have Austin Aries win, so maybe have him at Payback or another Raw, so he can win then.
Yeah. All right. Mojo Rawley wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Shane, he was on the podcast when we were doing predictions, and he called this one. So good for Mojo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has his friend Gronk, so once they showed Gronk in the crowd, I was like, oh, Mojo's
Yeah.
probably gonna win because Braun was out pretty early.
Yeah.
And then it was basically Mojo, Braun, and Sammy's who I thought would win.
Yeah. All right. Dean Ambrose retains the Intercontinental title against Baron Corbin.
Yeah, a little bit of a disappointing match, which it wasn't on the pre-show, but there's so many damn matches on here. 7 hours of wrestling is way too much.
Yes.
So they could have cut this along with the other women's match, but SmackDown would have had like what 2 or 3 matches on the main card, which, you know,
Yeah.
you gotta earn your place in WrestleMania, I guess.
Yeah. All right. AJ Styles defeated Shane McMahon in a typical wrestling match, which turned out to be a brawl.
It was a pretty good match, maybe I'd say second best match of the show.
Yeah. I mean, both guys got their stuff in. How long did this go? Like 20 minutes, maybe?
20, 25 minutes. And since they started the show off, the crowd was real hot for this, which was good because if it did go wrong and Shane blew a couple spots, they might not have been as nice, but Shane did pretty good.
Yeah, he
So,
did the shooting star,
mhm,
which is nice, in that one-armed Styles clash. It made it look even more gruesome than it actually
mhm.
is.
Shane lifted his chin up so he didn't break his neck, which is always nice. Don't
Yeah,
see somebody die at WrestleMania.
yes. Kevin Owens defeats Chris Jericho to become the new United States champion.
A giant list and a light up scarf for Chris Jericho. Beautiful entrance with their 80-yard ramp, which is
Yes,
huge.
I loved it.
But I wish this wasn't the second match of the card. This should have been on later in the show, but with the being such a long show, I don't think I would want this match to be later on because with matches like Triple H and Seth, where the crowd kind of brought the match down a bit, it could have been the same thing for this match. But it told a good story. It wasn't, just balls to the wall like it could have been, but it was a good match.
Yep,
And to have the rematch at Payback with Kevin Owens winning the new United States Championship.
we'll see. All right, Bayley, she retains her Raw Women's title in a fatal 4-way elimination against Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and Nia Jax. It was nice to see the Shield triple power bomb that the girls did to Nia, paying homage to the Hounds of Justice. I like that.
And having all three of the women team up against the big girl.
Yeah. And then Bayley, our hometown hero.
San Jose's finest.
Yes, she wins with a Macho Man elbow drop to Charlotte.
This could have meant so much more if this was Bayley's victory. Finally capturing the championship and having Charlotte be undefeated on pay-per-views for so long. But,
Yeah.
having Bayley went on a throwaway edition of Raw and then beating Charlotte on Fastlane, whatever.
That's normally how it
Didn't
happens.
didn't make any sense to me, but I'm not Vince McMahon. I'm a billionaire, so
Yeah.
what do I know?
Of course, the markout moment of the night, the Hardys, they came back and they defeated Gallows and Anderson, Enzo and Cass, and Cesaro and Sheamus to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions.
Another probably one of the best matches of the show. Best moment of the show definitely when the
Oh yeah,
Hardys came
yeah.
back. New Day comes out, kind of teases that they're going to come in, but everybody kind of thought Hardys were going to come back,
And then we hear that
and they
drum
did.
beat, and I mean they
Loudest
were
pop of the night.
Ring of Honor Tag Champs one night, then WWE Tag Champs the next.
2 ladder matches in 2 days. It's crazy.
As Matt would say, that's wonderful.
Hmm.
All right. You called this about 2 months ago. John Cena and Nikki Bella defeat The Miz and Maurice, and then they get engaged after the match.
I got my sources, and my sources aren't wrong. It was such a beautiful ceremony. As soon as Cena went to go hug his mom, which I've never even seen her before, I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna propose to her. Because usually it's only his dad that's there at the matches.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Uh,
Poor Miz and Maurice. They deserve better, but
the Cena engagement is probably the biggest work in wrestling history.
I hope that wasn't like the real proposal. Like he proposed to her a couple weeks ago, like at a restaurant or something. But I'm pretty sure that would have came out if he did that in public. Maybe go like Daniel Bryan, take her up on a mountain somewhere and propose to her. But I don't think that's something Nikki and John would do.
Yeah, we'll see. But
But
congratulations to the
the
Cenas.
it couple of WWE now because they won the match.
Yes, congratulations to them. All right, non-sanctioned match. Seth Rollins defeated Triple H.
I feel like the crowd brought this one down because they were not very hot for this. This was what like midway into the show, and they kind of knew they were still a long way to go after this.
Yeah, but Hunter, he had a badass entrance. Seth, his entrance was interesting with
The torch.
the torch or whatever thing.
Stephanie looking fine as hell, all that leather.
Oh man, Stephanie
Hmm.
McMahon gets better with age. Mm-mm-mm.
I feel like the match should have been cut down like 10 minutes. Just got like a all-out brawl because this is a real blood feud that's been boiling for what like over a year and a half now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Instead of just having Triple H just doing submission holds on the knee and just like doing his regular plotting Triple H match that lasts 25 minutes. And this match, I mean, this show and needed to be cut down a lot. And I think this is where you could have trimmed some of the fat off of
Yeah.
having a 15-minute match instead of a 25-minute match.
I mean, Steph, she took a bump through a table.
I mean, that was fine, but I mean, what she took a bump last year and then she got thrown into a pool with Vicky Guerrero. She doesn't really get her comeuppance that much.
She doesn't. Uh, but the crowd kind of popped when Seth hit Hunter with the pedigree. So this does mean that Seth will get a new finisher because he said once he gets done with Hunter, then he's gonna get a new one. So I can't wait to see what that's gonna be.
But he never said that. Was that in an interview?
Yeah.
But that was
When
never like on WWE TV, so they haven't made a point of that.
no, when he first came back, he was on Jericho's podcast and he said, one he's gonna get a new finisher pretty soon.
I'd love to see the curb stomp come back, but
Yeah.
I don't think that'd happen.
Yeah. Randy Orton defeated Bray Wyatt to become the new WWE champion.
Bray Wyatt has the power of a projector now. He can project worms and cockroaches on a mat, which
Yeah.
is so great. Because this is really what every wrestling fan wants to see. Because the crowd, JBL was like, "Oh, the crowd is just so shocked and awe what happened," but they're like, "No, this is just fucking stupid. And why is this happening?"
Yeah, but at his 13th WrestleMania, Randy Orton becomes a 13-time heavyweight champion of the world. We are once again in the age of Orton.
I feel like Bray should have won this match because just Randy Orton winning again, like there's nothing new you can really do.
Yeah,
And
we'll see where they go with this.
hmm
Probably the best match of the night. Brock Lesnar defeated Bill Goldberg to become the new champion of the universe.
I think by far the best match of the night. It was exactly what you would expect. 5 minutes of just four moves. That's all they did was four moves.
I mean,
Brock Lesnar comes out steaming, then all of a sudden Goldberg hits him with the spear, and then he does his shit, and then Brock Lesnar does a leapfrog over Goldberg and finishes him.
the three Germans to Goldberg, then the off-camera shot of Brock getting his ass handed to him with a spear. That was pretty cool. But congratulations to Brock. Let's see if he can elevate this pretty terrible championship. Um, Naomi, she wins in her hometown, wins the SmackDown Women's title. That's good for her.
Great moment for Naomi, but does this match really need to be on? Once again, nobody cared about this match. Put it on SmackDown. It's still in Orlando.
I just wanted to see Alexa.
She can still have her moment in Orlando, and you can trim the show by what 5 minutes that match was, because everybody knew that what it was just a buffer match, and so everyone just went to the the can to go take a piss and get their last beer.
It was a whole thing. All right, then probably the saddest moment of the night. In a no holds barred match, we all saw it coming. Roman Reigns defeated the Undertaker.
Started off pretty good, but then like Undertaker you started seeing that old man, and it was just kind of depressing.
Roman tried to lift him for the tombstone, couldn't happen. Taker could barely lift him for the last ride, and my man got
I
old.
mean, that bump that Spear he took through the table probably didn't help much with his hip that he needs to get replaced.
He took like 6 spears.
I know, which, I mean, that's not much of. I mean, it's just falling backwards, just a regular bump. But that table spot, which is even higher up in the air, that's something a
Yeah,
52-year-old man with two blown out hips shouldn't be doing.
I know, but
They did the little homage to Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels
they did
with
that.
and then the Shawn Michaels match where he's like crawling up, just like you got the balls to kill me now.
Yeah,
But then Roman did, bounce off the ropes about 10 times and finally spare him, which I kind of thought was kind of stupid, but
yeah.
I thought it would have been better just to.
Roman actually cried after this match. I saw a picture of that because he had to do the job, and
He didn't do the job.
well,
Taker did the job.
Taker did the job, but he was in charge of handling the job. No, but any fond memories of Taker's career?
Well, I started becoming a wrestling fan like in 2003, so he was still the American Badass, but then he had that Buried Alive match with Vince, and then he came back as the Undertaker, the real Undertaker in WrestleMania 20, which was the first WrestleMania I ever saw, so it was kind of cool to see
Yeah,
the real Taker for the first time, but I feel like this match would have meant so much more if the streak was on the line still.
I remember being a little kid and being scared shitless whenever I saw this dude on the screen. Yeah, but more than 2 decades of dominance, a guy who was able to reinvent himself over and over, the greatest character, the greatest gimmick in the history of this business.
Should this have been a streak match? The Roman Reigns, should have beaten the streak.
Yes, if the streak was still intact.
Because they haven't really done anything with Brock Lesnar. They kind of did something with him at SummerSlam, and then after that, when he lost, or yeah, but
Kind of lost his fire.
hmm but Taker apparently insisted on putting over anybody. He didn't want to. He wanted to, do good for the business. This is why we didn't get the John Cena match either.
Yeah,
Because if you're gonna have, nobody's gonna really gain anything with Cena winning or Taker winning, with both of them kind of be gone in the next 5 years.
yeah. No, but thank you, Taker, for all the memories. And then we go into the Raw recap.
hmm
um,
Pour some out for the homie.
yes, the revival they debuted.
We gotta talk about that epic promo to start off the show with Roman
We
Reigns
do have to talk about that.
and the Undertaker chant slowly starting to turn into Roman sucks chants, and then Roman comes out, and then there's fuck you Roman, there's whatever go away, there's a shit ton of anti-Roman chants, which he didn't even say anything for the first 15 minutes, and he kept raising the mic to his mouth, and every time he'd do that, the crowd would boo loud, and then he was like, I got you in the palm of my hands, and he just said 5 simple words, this is my yard now, and walked out.
Yeah. Uh, Roman, he does have him.
I don't know. Is this a heel turn for Roman? It was a little hint.
Yeah, he has him
Or
right where he wants him. Yeah. So the revival they did debut against the New Day. They picked up the win over those boys.
they took out the poor old ice cream truck. He just bulldozed over it, which
Yep.
was a nice moment.
Vince announced a superstar shakeup.
Which they didn't even explain what that even
I
means.
think it's a trade.
Yeah, like they just the opportunity to get both of the GMs in one room and talk it out.
Yep. We have a new GM for Raw, and it's not Teddy Long, thank God. It is newly inducted WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle.
This has been in the talks for the last couple weeks now. He was really sweating.
He
He was
was.
sweating through his suit. I didn't want to see his white shirt, and I didn't want to see how sweaty that was. That would have
Yeah.
been very bad.
I'm glad to see Kurt Angle back in the fold of the WWE. I'm glad to see him back home. The Braun Lesnar face-off. How was that?
It was pretty good. Paul Heyman's promo was really good. A little story time with Paul talking about Goldberg and Lesnar, and then he called out Roman. So that
Yeah.
34 main event that everyone's talking about of him and Lesnar for the title could happen.
Yeah, Paul's story times are always good. I've seen other story times on social media which are not good, but Paul's are amazing.
So is it going to be Braun and Lesnar at Payback or whatever pay-per-views?
I think Bad Blood maybe after that.
Eh.
Finn Balor returns.
Mm-hmm.
The Demon King is back.
My boy's back.
It's lit.
He has to come and reclaim his throne, take out that Lesnar. Lesnar versus Finn at SummerSlam,
That would be hilarious.
and then him teaming up with Seth. They go over. Announcers didn't even talk about like the glaring issue of Seth being the one that injured Finn Balor.
That's Raw commentating for you.
And then, the commentating team also talked about how, usually they cheer people they normally boo and boo people they normally cheer, which is total horseshit because if you watch Raw, they boo Roman Reigns all the time. And they cheered for New Day. They cheered for Cesaro and Sheamus. They, whatever, booed the heels. They boo, so they just are, you know, making excuses for themselves.
Yep. And after Raw went off on the WWE Network, Goldberg said goodbye to the WWE Universe.
For now.
For now, he said you never say never. So we're gonna see.
Brought his kid in the ring, put him over.
Put him off.
Got to put the young talent over. Young little Goldberg.
Gotta start him young.
He jumped over the ring or jumped over the barricade and fell.
Took a bump.
He took more than Goldberg does.
I know, right? Maybe his kid'll have at least 6 moves.
And he kept his shirt on, which is always a plus.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, the SmackDown recap. We saw 2 main roster debuts. First one was the Perfect 10. Ty Dillinger, after about 15 years of being in developmental, he's finally made it on the main roster. Congratulations to him.
He basically debuted basically the same way the Revival did, doing an open challenge.
That's cool. And Shinsuke Nakamura debuted during Miz and Maurice's imitation of John and Nikki.
Which I just marked out just for Nakamura coming out itself. He didn't really do anything. He just was Nakamura and he did his little entrance with the violin.
He didn't need to do anything.
I know.
It's like Michael Jackson just walking onto an award show. Doesn't need to do anything. Just his presence alone.
I hope this means a Nakamura Miz feud will happen because I feel like the promos between them will be pretty funny and entertaining.
I mean, Nakamura doesn't really say much.
I know, but he just has to give him that look and just say something.
Yeah.
Which will be awesome. And then Maurice reacting to Nakamura stuff, it'll be pretty good too.
Yeah.
So, whenever the next pay-per-view is, that'd probably be Nakamura's first match.
Yep. And Corbin defeats Ambrose in a street fight.
50-50 booking for you. I don't know why the IC title match couldn't have been on SmackDown instead of at the WrestleMania kickoff show. Everybody doesn't need to be on WrestleMania. This isn't Little League where everybody gets a trophy.
Don't get me started.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Styles and McMahon, did they call it a truce?
I think so. A little Styles babyface turn, Styles turning face with Roman turning heel. I would like that.
Yep. Because, AJ, he said, SmackDown Live is the house that he built and he wants to stay there. Doesn't want to be caught up in that superstar shakeup.
Shane came out to talk about the superstar shakeup. And then he, got interrupted by AJ, and then he just stopped talking about the superstar shakeup. He didn't even say anything. He was like, oh, this is going to be, exciting for all the fans. And then that was it. And AJ came out, and then either he forgot what he said, or was like, yeah, whatever.
And then Randy and Harper defeat the Wyatt family with a returning Eric Rowan. Typical thing to see. So much wrestling this past
Rowan
weekend.
loses and with the RKO, but Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton are gonna have a House of Horrors match, whatever that is.
I don't know what that is.
Is it gonna be like an asylum, Ambrose Asylum, where
they're Monsters Ball
they're
from
in the
TNA.
cage with a potted plant hanging from the roof, or maybe Final Deletion? I love the Final Deletion, and then just Broken Matt comes out just out of nowhere for no reason, or Vanguard 1 comes out. You don't even say anything, just have a drone come out of nowhere.
Final Deletion.
And then that'd be amazing.
Oh, that would be great.
If the Hardys have the championship, but if they would come over to SmackDown,
or just Matt,
yeah,
he'd be like, yes,
But
that
TNA's probably gonna come after them for anything that resembles Broken Hardys.
WWE is better lawyers. It's inevitable.
Yeah, fuck that owl.
Man. All right. Well, my promo pick of the week, AJ Lee, when she was the Divas champion, she blasted the cast of Total Divas on the August 26, 2013 edition of Raw. And the best line out of this promo was she told the girls that none of them can lace up her Chuck Taylors. AJ Lee, I enjoyed her character. I enjoyed her run. She was a great talent. Somebody who wasn't a model or a Barbie doll. She worked for what she got.
AJ Lee was in my top 10 of wrestlers, and you guys all laughed at me.
I respect that.
I love me some AJ.
I was trying to fit some women in there too.
And she just came out with the book.
I mean, I was trying to fit a Trish or a Sasha, but it was hard.
Especially with her and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, that little thing that they had in Kane. AJ being a little floozy.
I know Ziggler and Cena.
Yeah,
You
she's
know, I heard her and Cena actually had a little real life thing right there.
really
It wasn't just kayfabe, my friend.
well.
She's one of the many Cena's been in.
Well, CM Punk sleeps with everybody too.
I know.
Mm. They don't call him Chick Magnet Punk for nothing.
Don't get me started. All right. Closing my match pick of the week. Big Show defeats Sheamus at the Hell in a Cell 2012 to become the World Heavyweight Champion. This was a pretty cool match. This was the first time somebody kicked out of the knockout punch. They were going back and forth. The match starts off slow, but they really get it going. And the ending, Sheamus goes for a brogue. Show sidesteps him and just decks him out with a punch. It was pretty cool to see. Yeah. Also, my sponsors for this week are Lothian Productions for getting us these headsets.
These beautiful headsets for such great audio quality.
I know, no more.
That works so well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I feel like a telemarketer.
Yes.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, I'd like to thank you for listening to the Bulletcast on the Sports and Recreational Podcast. That is simply just too sweet. I'll see you next time.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.